Hello friends, my name is Theo, and today in this exciting episode of Theo's Kind of a Jerk, I am going to be just demonstrating how to do a whole thing that one of my friends just asked me how to do. So up on the screen now is the ad, and she asked, what software do I use to do this? And I said, basically any piece of software out there. This is super easy. And she asked, but how? I said, stop motion. So here, we're going to have just a random surface. This is a black piece of cardstock I pulled from the production bin. I've got some just masking tape because why not? So let's go ahead and lay something about this long down right there. That looks pretty good. And now I'll stop recording this camera and take a couple pictures. So now hopefully this camera is decently in focus. I'm going pretty quick on this, but here you see we've got this. I'll take a picture. I'll peel it up some. Take another picture. And I'll peel it up some more. And take another picture. And a cat's coming, so I'll peel it off one more time. Freya, don't get in the shot. And take another picture. And now that's probably good. So now we'll head on over to the computer and see what we can do. Okay, now we're in the computer, and you see I've copied the files over. You see, there they are. Probably should have zoomed in more, but what are you going to do? This is just for socials. It doesn't need to be super high resolution anyway. So now I'll go to scripts, load files into stack, browse, and pop this up. Do these files, okay. And I don't need to do any options here, and just hit okay. And you could also just drag these on one on top of the other, but I like using my niche Photoshop features whenever I can. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to just go to image rotation, 180 degrees. So go to this first one, and I'll hit W to select the magic wand tool. Oh, and got to select the correct layer. There we go. And I'll just go ahead and make a layer mask. And go to this next one, turn off this one, magic wand tool, layer mask, and this next one, and select that, including a little bit of shadow there. Excellent. And create a layer mask. I bet you can figure out what we're going to do on this last one. Select, let's see, I'll hit Alt right click to resize the brush. There we go, that's looking pretty good. And of course, once again, create a layer mask. There we go. So now we've got our whole thing. All right, and now let's go ahead and fix this exposure a little bit, going up to filter, camera raw filter, since we didn't do this on the ingest. I'm just going to bump this exposure up till it's about normal. You should do this on the camera side, but once again, we're just being quick and dirty. Now I'll select this next one, go up to filter, camera raw filter, make sure that works well. Yep, see that applied the same settings as before. And Control Alt F to do that again, and Control Alt F to do it one more time. There we go. Nice, and now we can export these. Or first, let's crop this and delete our cropped pixels so we aren't using way too much. There we go. There we go. There we go, and there we go. And now in our layer panel, we will go ahead and select all of these, right click, and do quick export as PNG. Now let's go to our this thing, our working folder, not our this thing. Come on, Theo. And now we'll call it PNGs. And select that folder. Now let's see. Yep, now I've got a bunch of PNGs in here. Excellent. Now you can use literally you can use basically any piece of video editing software for this. I'm going to use After Effects just because if you're doing this kind of work, you're probably doing it in After Effects, but you can do this in Premiere, Final Cut, Resolve, Fusion, Nuke, Movie Maker probably, like literally anything. This is super simple. I'll create a new composition, and I'll make this 1080 by 1080 because we're doing this for socials. So you're going to make it square. Now let's go ahead and double click, and we'll go to our PNGs folder and select all of these. And we do not want this to be an image sequence because we need to align them a little bit. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and just drag these all into our timeline here. You can see, look, great size. We'll make this a little smaller. S for scale. There we go. And now let's go ahead and All right, so this is our first one. This is our second one. Let's just go ahead and line up this ragged edge. I'm using the arrow keys to nudge it into place. There we go. That's looking pretty good there. Let's do our next one. And drag this guy into place. It's looking pretty good. And this next one, this will be a hard one. There we go. And so matched up pretty well. Nice. Now you can see, need to drag this around a little more and scale them. Will they scale? Whoop. And you saw since those all scaled to their own center, we need to add a quick null object. So this would all be taken care of if your camera was more sturdy, but you know, we're just making this nice and simple here. There we go. And now, let's get this first one's on the bottom. Yep. So let's make all of these 4 frames, let's say 3 frames. So select those, select this bottom one, select the top one, right click, go to Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers, no overlap. There we go. Now if we play this through, hit N, back 1 frame, N. Oh, and actually we do want this to be completely off. So there we go. Let's make this a little faster. So do just like we did before. Select all of our layers and bring them back here with open bracket. Let's make these 2 frames long and select the bottom and the top and go to Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers, Overlap OK, and N. There we go. That's feeling pretty good. And I don't even mind how the light's changing. Excellent. So now let's go ahead and change our null object some more. Let's bring up our reference. Okay, so it's right across. So we'll rotate this and bring this right in the center. And let's scale it up some more because it doesn't need to be on the whole time. There we go. Play this through again. And we saw in the ad, it pops on and then pulls off. So, I mean, I don't super love that, but I guess it does make sense. So I'll do that just by doing a nice hacky thing here and duplicating these with Control D, using Control close bracket, bring it up 1, Control open bracket, bring it down 1. And now since this is turning into a more of a thing, I will turn on my keyboard thing so you can actually see what I'm doing. We'll move these to there. And here we'll do our opposite. So now to make these sequence the other way, select the top one, select the bottom one, right click, Keyframe Assistant, Sequence Layers, OK. And of course you could just drag those around, but if you're doing this with like, 1500 frames, you don't want to do that by hand. So I'm showing you how to do that. There we go, nice. So now we've got that little looping bit. Great, and now we can do our text. So 20% off, or 20% big, no fill, but an outline of white. So we'll just cheat and make this black. There we go. We'll increase our fill some, or our stroke some. Here we go. And then we'll make this very long. That looks pretty bad, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so that's the most. Make this a little taller now. Excellent, we've got that. And now let's go ahead and create another text layer with Control T. and off everything. Great. And this will make white, and the fill or stroke will be nothing. There we go. I was just doing that wrong, so let's go to 20% off. We can make that. There we go. We don't even have to cheat. All right, now this, we'll go ahead and just put here, scale, percent. Everything should be the same size as the 20%. Off everything. And excellent. I'll move it up some, but we gotta select it and go. And now we'll connect all of these to a new null object with Control-Alt-Shift-Y. This. And now we can move this null object around and scale it up a little bit. And now if we move all of these layers down here, and to stay a little bit organized, even though this is a pretty small project, we'll just color them the same color, and same with these guys. So now you see we're getting there. And then once it's revealed, we scale up. So scale 1, 2, scale 1, 2, scale. And if we play this through now, you'll see this doesn't do the right thing. It zooms up, and that could be fine, but we can also make it more than fine by selecting all of these and then Control-Alt clicking. And now they are static keyframes. Let's space those out. And then copy them again. And in the actual add, it did this thing twice, so Control-C, give it a little more time because there's a little space in between. And now we'll hit N. And that feels like it should be a little more energetic, so select all these, hold down Alt, click and drag. Be a little more energetic. And we'll do a little more. So select all those, click and drag. There we go. And now let's just add in a colorful background. So on MeesterMedia.com, you can go and download this free textures pack. So this one looks like it'll be a good one. Let's drag that guy in there and scale it down. Bring that at the bottom. So we'll do a colorama. And we'll change this output cycle to something fun. There we go. That's looking fun. Let's add in like some purples here. Cool, that works. And now let's add in like a Gaussian blur. Nice. Now let's duplicate this and change this colorama pack to normal Caribbean. And bring our colorful one up top and change its blend mode to color. And go, that's kind of fun. Now let's create an adjustment layer with Control-Alt-Y, and I'm using FX Console here from Video Copilot to do my effects this fast. And now let's add in our levels and a glow and a blur. We'll do another Gaussian blur. So first, levels. So to brighten things up, and add in a little bit of glow threshold up a little more, glow radius much larger, intensity down to something like 0.5, and then we will blur it some more, like 20. Let's bring this intensity down even more. There we go. Now that might even be just a little bit bright, so let's add in another levels. And so to tone that down. And what happens if we add a little bit of contrast? Or remove a little bit of contrast. There we go. Now let's go ahead and just make this a little thinner. And let's make these guys a little brighter. So we'll bring this whole thing and do a new composition with Control-Shift-C. And I'll call this tape. And now levels. I'll make this bright. And we'll make that less bright. Now, if we play this through, we get our amazing ad just that quick. So, I hope you like this. Hopefully it wasn't too snarky. I'm literally just making this because of this text message I got from a friend of mine. So now I hope you don't feel too bad, but you can see just how easy it is. And a lot of this stuff in there is just like compositing and making things pretty. The actual effect only to part of a little bit of it. So I'm sure the YouTube watch time algorithm is not happy with this, but I had fun doing this. Hopefully you had fun watching it or didn't. If you made it this far, you know, what the heck. Once again, the texture that I use is at meissner.media/products, where you can go down to street textures. You see it's free. There's not even a pay what you want option. It's just free. Add that to the cart. Boom. You are ready to rock and roll. $0. Check that out. So once again, I've been Theo with Meissner Media. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.